What's happening, my people? Welcome to Vertical Football and welcome to another episode of Team Talk. I am Rash, and here today I have my regular guys with me. Segun, how are you doing, Segun?
Yeah, it's good to be here. It's good to be here. Looking forward to the discussion and, talking about football.
Football, yeah, definitely. I've actually missed you guys because it's been a while we talked about football. Afellay, how is it with you over there?
Yeah, but I did that. Yeah.
The Saka Messi man.
I did. We don't miss each other, so it's a good time to be together again.
Yeah,
And talk about
definitely,
football, so.
definitely. And lastly, there we have Rere. Rere, how is it with you, my brother?
Back here.
Yeah, definitely. And before we move on into today's activity, we are going to give a shout out to the top man in the Fantasy Premier League. Let me put it straight. Vertical Football Fantasy League. He came up with 98 points. That's in the person of Water na Water. That name self is almost not now overflowing of points. The guy won't get like that. 98 points. Shout out to you, Water na Water.
Yeah.
We expect to see more of that. How did fantasy treat you guys this week?
I'm having a tough time with fantasy this league,
Man.
this season, because of, my team this week, essentially. Rodri will go get a
Red
They
card.
had a red card, and it was really, really sad because now minus. And
Yeah.
the likes of Wissa not delivering for like the third game week consecutively.
Consecutively.
Yes, but I'm happy I did some transfers that paid off. The likes of Trippier came in. The likes of Isiak.
Trippier?
Yeah, Trippier. I just brought him
18
in.
points.
I
Ara.
had that feeling on that day, like 1 or 2 hours before the deadline, to bring him in, and gave me.
You just get,
18
yeah.
points. So,
Man. How did you go on your side, brother?
Yeah, like this is my highest points on fantasy. Yes, I got it this week. I had 82.
How many points?
82.
Wow.
It's all more.
I had 82.
Did you enjoy yourself?
If I even pass 82 self, because I go come captain for Trippier.
Wow.
I go pass 82.
Who you come captain?
I go captain Haaland.
You
You
just
pay
collect 12 now.
And another thing we person say, Tonali, how your team go win 80 go get 1 point? I don't understand.
And I hate people score for that match. Oh.
Go get 1 point.
8
8-0.
different players.
That's
tell
what
you.
I-
But no one talk about Haaland. Haaland, in my own opinion, if we no captain him, they really pack so much points. Like this season, apart from the place where he score hat-trick, he never really give me so much points if I no captain him.
yes.
Now just 6, 8, 6, 8.
But please, now steady points. You can bank say this guy.
He will surely give you points.
If other players they bring point like that, no wala. But people like Rashford, them they know they bring points.
No, me, I dey trust Rashford, though. Me. Now,
How
one
many points
person
did
where
he
they-
give you? He don't give you past 5 points this season.
this season, Rashford get one match where he do assist.
Okay,
He don't score this season. So at least
that's
2
like
times.
maybe
2 times he don't give me
I think against
better.
against
the
against
points are
Arsenal,
very
he
low.
got like 6 against Arsenal.
Yes, now.
Oh, he scored against us now, so the points could be high.
Rashford, trust me, now my man with that. No, anywhere I stand Rashford. So moving on to today's talk, we're going to start with Arsenal. Well, the first point here is like the most important point, I would say. Ramsdale and Raya. Do you the question I'm going to like to pose the question to Segun. Do you think Arteta is picking his first choice keeper based on stats or just pure intuition?
I think it's based on pure intuition. I think at first when Raya, you mentioned it here on the pod that when you have someone like Ramsdale, which
Yeah.
I like so much, I like Ramsdale as a keeper, and then you now bring in Raya, who on his own day is a starter for any club, you understand?
Yeah.
And you now bring Raya in. The question is, how do you manage them? But now looking at the way things are panning out, I'm now led to believe that right from the summer when they were planning their squad, Arteta had already decided they needed a new keeper. I think he had just decided that.
But Raya is
Ramsdale-
playing really good.
Yeah. So I think he decided that Ramsdale is not maybe the keeper to take them forward. So he's just like, okay, let me start Ramsdale. But my mind, I know that the Raya I want, and I feel Raya is going to be the better option. But let me just before maybe Ramsdale does one mistake or Ramsdale does have one bad match. Because coaches do this, they put a player and they just wait for that one mistake.
Yeah.
And then on the back of
So
that
they'll
mistake,
pin it on you.
yeah,
Like,
on the back of that
this is
mistake,
it.
just drop you. And I think that's what he has done with Ramsdale in the sense of Ramsdale maybe had not a so good game, and then he just dropped him off and put Raya. And now Raya's like now the starting.
Yeah, definitely.
Starting
So Afellay, what's your
goalkeeper.
2 cents on that situation?
For me, I've watched Raya's like out of 3 games he has kept this
In Arsenal.
consecutively. I
I
watched
think
2.
2 clean sheets.
I watched 2 out of he kept the clean sheet against Everton and clean sheet against PSV.
PSV,
yeah.
Nice
So
start.
and I even watched the match against Tottenham, and he made some great saves there.
Yeah.
You know. So I feel like it's just like for me, I don't think Arteta has chosen yet. I think he's just trying to weigh the 2 options and see which one is better. Yeah, but for me, what Raya is doing is impressive. You know, compared to Ramsdale. Ramsdale has proven himself. So I just feel like it's all about Arteta. He's the one who he knows what he wants from his keeper. So if anyone he would choose is
Okay, yeah, definitely. That's nice. But there is something. He has given Ramsdale the chance starting this season. When Raya came in, now Raya is trying to take the position to become the number 1 choice goalkeeper. Yeah. Do you think this Raya time is just a test for, like, you know, the coach, like you said, let me give you the time and see what you will do? Maybe you make a mistake, I pin the mistake on you. Do you think this is going to be like what we are going to be seeing as Raya taking the first choice goalkeeping position at Arsenal? Or do you think Ramsdale is coming back?
Well, what I even like about that thing is that is now competition at that goal post.
But that's a very bad competition. First choice
I think
keeper.
it's a very risky one, you know, to have.
You know, he's on regular in the Premier League. You have one as a standing one, then you have one as...
I think the last I can remember where there was real competition among goalkeepers, so maybe Cech and Kudicini at one point in Chelsea.
Okay.
Maybe like said it was because, you know, other positions you can have 2 or 3 players vying for that position, but when it comes to the goalkeeper position, you want your goalkeeper to have like kind of like a rest of mind.
Yeah, confidence
that, like, now even though I have a bad game, let me have that confidence that the coach is going to trust me next game. You understand? But when you can only play one goalkeeper at once.
Yeah, definitely.
The defense, I might be a centre back, but if I'm not getting minutes, the coach might decide to play me as a left back or a right back tomorrow. But a goalkeeper cannot play as a defender.
Definitely.
And it's not every day you see goalkeepers getting changed.
Exactly, because you need them. That's so, like, so it's going to be, I don't know how, but from the look of it, it looks as if Arteta is in control. And it looks as if the board, the club, the fans are supporting him. But I know that kind of situation can cause a lot of issues in the dressing room in the sense of enmity or bad blood between Raya and Ramsdale.
But they asked him in the Sky Sports interview, and he said he's handling it as a good person, as a professional.
That's Ramsdale.
And I feel like he's very early. Now when he's getting time, like he's not seeing a playing chance anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think he's going to be handling it as a professional.
Even at present, if he has like issues with that decision, it's not going to come out to Sky Sport to voice about it. Just yet.
And I think Ramsdale just got his chance to play at the national level, I think last year.
Yeah.
So, you know, if he's sitting on the bench, I think that would be one of the
issues. Euros is upcoming.
And Euros is coming up.
Yeah,
so
definitely. But we leave that to Arteta. Let him take very right choice. But I trust what he's doing in my own view. But so let's move on to like the midfield part of Arsenal. In the beginning of the season, we saw something that we felt like this is the way it's going to be going. You have Rice, you have Odegaard, and you have Havertz. But now they are coming in dynamics. This match, it is changing. Half time, we are bringing in a very different kind of midfield. What do you think is happening to Arsenal's midfield at the moment?
I feel like Arsenal, Arteta has much players in the midfield area, and he's here to pick the starting ones. You know, let's say Rice is a permanent starter. Odegaard is a permanent starter.
Yeah.
So he's like judging within Fabio Vieira and Kai Havertz. He thinks he wanted Havertz to start, but it's like Havertz is not picking up yet. So he's trying to change and see if Fabio Vieira can come in and do something that Havertz can't do yet. So you understand? Because and for me, I feel like he's sabotaging Odegaard in a way, because I feel he should let Odegaard play that field role. And why don't you play Partey and Rice? Let's just see that.
Yeah, that's one player we're not even talking about. Partey.
Let's just see that midfield and let Odegaard do his thing. You understand? But when we in a situation where we're having Rice only sitting at the DM, and you are using Odegaard and Havertz or Fabio. So it's just like
those two are the movers.
Movers. I think need to come back and do the job as defensive works. But when you're having Partey and
Rice sit down there,
Odegaard is just like you having Sar and then Bissouma. then Madison has nothing to do backwards. You know they come back. You know, you understand? So that's how it's supposed to be. I think maybe he's just not gotten it right yet. And maybe he's trying to experiment and do stuff like that.
I think Arteta needs to listen to this particular thing Afellay just said. Like that was very insightful. Like he just gave me a very clear picture. Really, what's your 2 cents on that? The Arteta's midfield in Arsenal right now.
Well, he has not yet gotten his perfect choice yet, but we have some key players that we have seen that they have taken that
Position.
to start.
Yeah.
That's Odegaard and
Rice.
Rice. So Havertz, maybe why he's still using Havertz is that because of the price tag on his head.
Yeah.
So not that you buy a player that is worth that
Amount and
keep him on
just
the
stream
bench.
on the
Yeah.
bench.
So, but Havertz has not lived up to expectation yet.
It's
So,
too early to just write him off so easy like
yes,
that, I
but
think.
he's sluggish and stuff that he does.
You know, okay, bringing it back to like the previous podcast. No, sorry, the match review Afellay did. There was this contrary opinion of why was that substitution made,
Yeah.
bringing in Havertz and Jorginho into a game like that. You know, when I listened to it, I came up with a very different perspective. When I saw the changes, I was like, this game is so intense. And the intensity Tottenham was bringing was not expected. Like Arsenal didn't expect anything of such. It was too much because Arsenal was still almost like a fast-paced team. So you need somebody to like take charge of the ball. When you have somebody like Jorginho who calm the ball down, start distributing it around. But I would say, unfortunately, it did not work. But that does not mean it was a wrong substitution to make, in my opinion. So, like Segun, what do you think about Arsenal's midfield situation?
I think, first of all, it's about Arteta, trying to change the formation of his midfield. In the sense of Arteta has always, I think from last season that did so well, the midfield structure that did so well for him last season was a double pivot and then 1-8 in terms of Odegaard. So double pivot in Xhaka and Partey and then Odegaard. So he wants to build or to take his Arsenal team to the next level in the sense of, let me take my Arsenal team to the next level in terms of like, normally Arsenal on most games in the Premier League will have more of the ball. So he wants them to be ruthless in terms of killing the game very early. So he decides now that he wants to change the structure of the midfield now from a double pivot to a single pivot to a single 6
Defensive
and then 2 8s. So now there are two options for Arteta in the sense of like, if you are sticking with your former structure of midfield in terms of double pivot and a single 8, every player you have at your disposal is used to playing that way. In the sense of Rice at West Ham did not play as a single 6. He played in a double pivot.
Okay.
So if you are using a double pivot in terms of Rice and Partey, Rice is not new to the system. Also, Partey is not new to the system because Partey was also used to playing alongside Xhaka.
As a
and
duo.
Odegaard also is not used to the system because he played last season with them as a single 8. But now the issue is when you want to change your midfield structure to a single pivot 6 and then 2 8s. Every player that's going to be playing there is more or less going to be playing in a new position. In terms of Rice has not played as a single 6.
Yeah, he's taking charge of the whole line.
Yes, he's doing well now. So far, he has been performing well as a single 6. But the question now beckons is, are you going to be using Rice as a single 6 against the likes of big teams like Manchester City? You can use that against smaller teams.
Yeah.
He can really cope and do well. But when you use him as a single 6 against the likes of the Man Cities, against the likes of he did well against Man United, but if you use him like a single 6 against the likes of Liverpool, how does he perform? He's new in that system. Odegaard has not been used to playing as in his double 8
situation.
So it's new for him. So now that's why I feel he is stubborn. Let me know. I don't think stubborn is the right way. Is the right word, but he's adamant that he wants to play in a double 8. And that's why he's trying to find the right mixture. And as Afellay said, I feel that double 8 is in a way affecting the performance of Odegaard because he's not now being saddled with the whole responsibility of
taking charge of the
taking
ball,
charge of the ball. So I think he just needs to look at how he's going to structure his midfield. And I don't think Arsenal has that box-to-box midfielder that can
do the job.
If Rice is playing as that 6, I don't think there's a box-to-box midfielder that can, because when you put Havertz, it affects that team defensively.
Yes.
When you put Var Favourites, it affects the team defensively. So the best option would be let Rice be your box-to-box, Let
Yeah.
Partey be your
Your
6,
six, yeah.
and let Odegaard be your 8.
But honestly, if we review it like that, I don't think there's going to be a chance for either Vieira or Havertz to play. In
They
the
will
team
play. There are
anymore.
a lot of games.
Yeah.
So they
Like
will have
now,
to like just sit down and play in an
against the likes
Europa
of
competition.
PSV,
Or,
no, Champions League. Against the likes
sorry,
of
Champions
PSV, against the likes of Luton Town, Sheffield United, a lot of this kind of
Even the
smaller
EFL.
clubs. In the EFL, you can use your 8, you can perfect your 8, because I think that Fabio Vieira will be very good in a double 8 system. I think he has also showed it's going to be very good, but is Odegaard really going to be very good in that double 8 system?
yeah, so we don't kill the boys' talent so early like that. Yeah, that's true. So let's leave it on Arsenal and still take it away from Arsenal. Is Arsenal being protected by the referees? Given situations that are going around them, how they just get awarded penalties, how they just get over stuffs like that. The people were talking about the offside against Manchester United, that this wasn't so clear. It was checked from a particular angle. Now we get the penalty from the Tottenham's match. What do you think about Arsenal being?
It seems that the ref are backing them this time, from my own view, honestly, because against that Tottenham match again, that Nketiah tackle, and look at Chilwell tackle.
Gusto.
Tackle. Imagine.
Yeah, Nketiah one was even worse.
And Nketiah didn't get
A red card.
He got just yellow. So they have been favored.
Yeah, it's they're being favored. I feel like I don't know the reason why they're being protected by the referees and even the VR. But what I see is this: there's situation whereby things will have gone awful for Arsenal, and VR has done nothing, in the right way. You have the handball against. I said it in the last match review.
Yeah.
The handball against Tottenham. I'm not saying it's not an handball, but that same thing has happened, and you see,
Manchester United.
even the same angle against the same player, Romero.
Yeah.
Where Garnacho was on goal. There was a chance the ball was going to go, and that same player used his hand to remove.
It was almost like even the same situation,
same
because like he was bending down and his hand was out of his body.
Yeah.
Even this against Tottenham, he was on the floor. Let's assume he was on the floor, but this one was on the air and he stretched out his hand, and referee didn't even bother checking that goal, that foul. So I feel like they are getting favored, or I don't know. I don't want to say favored, but it seems that's why it's going.
So can we just be like it's luck on Arsenal's side, given that these are decisions taken by referees? It's not just one ref. If it was one ref, we'll say this particular person is like trying to be so nice with Arsenal. These are different refs in different situations.
I think is a part of two various options. In the first one is that after the Brentford game last season, that Ivan Toney's goal should have been ruled out and was counted, and Arsenal drew that game 1-1. That affected their title running in a way. I think a lot of referees or the referee association in England felt that they did Arsenal wrong, and they've always tried to, in one way or the other, compensate for that. That's just the reality of things. Because sometimes I scout a lot of Arsenal games, and when I watch them, I'm like, if it was another club, would this have been really given? You understand?
Yeah.
Would it have really given? And another part of the decisions going Arsenal way is that one thing I like so much about the Arsenal team is that they demand so much from the referees. I don't think there's anything in the Premier League that when the decision should be given for them, or when a decision has been given against them, that the players are so much in unity going against it and going to the referee. Yes, some of the players have collected yellow cards for that, but they place so much demand on the referee. That's a part of their game.
So it's making the ref choiceless.
Yes, so they put more pressure on the referee. But for example, when you see, I've already mentioned Manchester United, when you see the reaction of Manchester United players sometimes on the referee, they're like,
just the captain alone.
Apart from Bruno, who is the captain, a lot of them don't put too much pressure on the referee. He does you just do whatever I want to do. But Arsenal will not let you go. For example, the likes of Zinchenko will not let you go.
Yeah, definitely.
So those it's two ways, in the sense of, first of all, last season, I feel from that Brentford game, a lot of referees want to appease Arsenal in one way or the other. Because see what you said about Nketiah. When I watched that game, that Nketiah tackle on Vicario, or almost tackle on Vicario, if it was, for example, Casemiro, it's getting a
red card, like
it's
that.
getting a red. So it's getting a red. And
like
even with the issue of the penalty, I asked one question when I watched Man United Tottenham Man United because Tottenham was at home. I was like, why can't the players even demand on the referee to go and check the screen? The referee didn't want to check the screen.
And they all just left
and
him.
we have had reports, for example, reports came out, we all know, about Cucurella's incident last season when they
With
pulled his head,
Tottenham.
that the referee came out to say he didn't want to go and check the screen because his friend was he didn't want to
VAR
send somebody to the
official,
screen
yeah.
because of. So I don't understand. If you need to check the screen, that's why the screen is there. Check the screen. He didn't check the screen against Man United because he knew if he had gone to check the screen and still didn't give that penalty, people will see there's suspicion there. So I think there's an agenda in the Premier League.
I think your emotion is coming
No,
up.
there are
You are
agendas.
reliving the
Their
anger
agendas.
of
No,
the
they are
of that
agendas
moment.
because you can't tell me that one team we saw that again against Man City getting a goal against I think which team was that?
Yeah, where the goal
was it
for
Sheffield?
Ake.
Yes, and we can see the one against Man United. And
almost the
we
same.
know there's an
similar.
agenda, but
No, but honestly, if you look at if we're trying to compare the Manchester United and Manchester City goal, Rasmus was so close to the keeper, like he gave him no choice. There was no choice for the
it's
goalkeeper.
debatable also.
No,
Debatable
even
also.
the keeper pushed him away. Did you watch? If you watch the play, the keeper pushed him away.
He has
And
actually
he said
even left
space.
it.
He gave him the keeper.
It
gave
was
himself
two
space.
shots now. It
It
was two shots.
In
But
one way.
the one.
Even against Arsenal, Manchester United against Arsenal last season when they won us 3-2. Nketiah was
Was blocking the gear. The referee
where
did
Zaka played the shot.
was
know-
it that close?
We know we are
Yes,
not.
like he was blocking the gear like
He
through
was
when the
blocking
shot.
the sight of
Sight
the
of
gear.
goal now.
But we know no one thing about it is that when you are big, you are big. We know the agenda. We can see it clearly. We have
Yes,
seen
now.
decisions go against Chelsea and Arsenal getting benefit of it. We've seen decisions go for Chelsea and other clubs also getting. We can see these things. My own is the referees should just be fair. There's a screen. That's why there's a screen on the pitch.
Yeah.
Everything before you make a decision, try and check the screen. Don't
Just jump into conclusions so
don't
quick.
jump to conclusion.
Yeah, that's true. So let's talk about two other points in regarding Arsenal before we jump into the next thing to talk about. So we're going to talk about two players, that is Nketiah and Odegaard. Nketiah, do you think he can lead the Arsenal's front line and become that deadly guy that you want to see at the front? Really, what do you think?
He's trying to prove himself, but me, I would have gone for Balogun instead. Balogun should have retained that position instead of Nketiah. But let's just give him time. But he's just eager to prove himself.
Yeah, and I think he's a different kind of striker, I would say. He's a young Gabriel Jesus. He's not that guy that wants to stand in the front of goal and just wait for the tapping or try to use his head. He's always going around to look for the ball and become part of the build-up. What do you think, Segun, about Nketiah?
When we said this, when we were previewing the Premier League season as a whole, and we said Arsenal needed to buy a striker. If you're not going to get a striker, as Rere said, then let Balogun be your backup. Because you cannot say you want to win the league and you have a striker like Nketiah. Nketiah is a good player. But for the quality you need to win the Premier League, you need a striker that, because Gabriel Jesus is not reliable in the sense of injury. It's not reliable, that's all the fact. But you need a striker that, when the striker's presence alone in that your team,
It's causing
it
problems for the
uplifts
defense.
the quality of your attacking play. You need someone that is a proven goal scorer. I remember I recommended Vlahovic. You need someone that offers you variety in terms of your pressing, in terms of your link-up play, in terms of your hold-up play. You need somebody that offers you more. You need somebody that even his presence alone gives your team that confidence. See the introduction of Gabriel Jesus and Odegaard and Zinchenko last season.
Yeah.
It improved the quality of Arsenal. You needed that star man. You can't be. I don't want to say
Leading the front line.
I don't want to
with
say
Nketiah.
waste, but it actually looks like a waste now. You can't be wasting that amount on Havertz when you can just add something on it and get someone like a Vlahovic, get someone like even an Højlund in that team. You get, or even someone like, I know because of the rivalry, even someone of the kind of caliber of like an Harry Kane. You get, or a Gonzalo Ramos. There were many strikers that can be fit and back.
And would have come to Arsenal at that point.
You need goals.
Yeah.
You need goals. Nketiah is not somebody. Are you telling me now that when you play, I know Arsenal is a very good team and goals can spring up from various areas of the pitch. But when you need goals in a game against Manchester City, to top them in the league. Are you telling me Nketiah is really going to give you those goals against the likes of Diaz, against the likes of Guavido?
Or those tall guys in Newcastle.
It's really a tough one to have.
I feel like for Nketiah, I've watched him play and I feel like he can only play whereby you are playing a double striker. That's the kind of part, the thing I've seen about him.
Okay.
I played as a striker at one time in one point of my life. So I feel like he doesn't have that thing, that's attributes to be just the lone
striker.
The lone striker, like Alan, the likes of Alan, the likes of Olong, like I said.
Yeah,
like
those
said.
traditional
You just need
nine.
you understand? He's like those strikers that play alongside another striker. Maybe definitely sometimes drop in, and play behind the striker.
Yeah.
That's the kind of person Nketiah is. So for him to play as a top 9, he's not doing that. He's not that kind of player. Just let's be frank with each other. He's not that kind of player that can play that kind of position.
Yeah, definitely. So about Odegaard, it's just a very straight point. Do you think with what is going on around Arsenal now, the style of play, we know he's a very versatile player. He can do a lot of things. Do you think he's reaching the top, given situations around him now?
Absolutely, because that Odegaard is a complete midfielder.
Yeah.
Yes, he has his vision, his passing ability,
His goal scoring ability, the way he takes
I'm not
shots.
done now.
Okay.
Passing ability, dribbling ability, goal scoring, everything. Even pressing going.
The man's another player.
No, the guy is good. What do you think? Do you think he's going to the top?
He can reach the top, definitely can, because he's a good player. Except sentiments aside, Odegaard is a good player. I also feel like you need to bring the best out of him by playing him as a lone 8. Don't share the pitch on that offensive.
Let him take charge of the creativity.
Then you are going to see the best of Odegaard. Why are you going to use Havertz? Who be Havertz?
Baba Havertz good. Havertz good. Give us your 2 cents about Odegaard.
I think Odegaard is a good player.
Yeah.
There are a lot of guys here have given him plaudits about his qualities, but I think Odegaard needs to show up in big games. I'm not seeing, the way a De Bruyne. I know Odegaard is not
to the
at
class
that level,
yet,
but he needs to get to that level quick enough. If Arsenal wants to be winning trophies, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
And he's the captain of the
It doesn't
team.
matter. He's the captain of
So
the
you
team.
can see it's positive.
It doesn't
all
matter.
positive.
It doesn't matter. How old is the likes of Mbappe? You need to get to that level. You need to get to that level because I think Odegaard has the potential to be in like the best FIFA best 11 for years. You get. I believe he has that potential, but he needs for Arsenal to be a team that constantly competing for trophies and constantly winning trophies. Odegaard needs to step up in the big games. It's fine to step up against Crystal Palace. It's fine to step up against the likes of Luton Town, but you need to step up against the likes of Man City, against the likes of Bayern Munich, against the likes of PSG when it really matters. And for so far, I've not really seen,
him coming up, most especially in big.
I've not really seen him doing that. So let's see if he can improve.